If you think fast food is wild, wait till you hear what the Romans chowed down on. Imagine walking through a busy Roman street, the air thick with the aroma of sizzling meats, fresh bread and exotic spices. The ancient Romans were true foodies of their time, always on the hunt for new flavors and culinary experiences. Their markets were alive with the hustle and bustle of vendors selling everything from fresh fruits to mysterious delicacies you'd never find at your local drive-thru. History class just got a flavor upgrade. Instead of just reading about emperors and gladiators, imagine tasting the very foods that fueled their adventures. Learning about Roman history isn't just about dates and battles. It's about discovering the flavors that shaped an empire. When you bring ancient recipes to life, suddenly the past feels a lot closer and a lot tastier. Let's bite into ancient Rome's strangest meals. Forget pizza and pasta, those came much later. The Romans had a menu that would surprise even the most adventurous eaters today. Their tables were filled with dishes that mixed sweet and savory, rich and simple, familiar and downright bizarre. From spiced meats to pickled fish, every meal was a chance to try something new. The Romans loved to experiment, blending flavors from across their vast empire, and their kitchens were a melting pot of culinary creativity. Ancient Romans kicked off their day with bread dipped in wine and maybe a handful of olives. Breakfast, or ientaculum, was a simple affair, but it set the tone for the day. Sometimes they'd add a bit of cheese or dried fruit, but the focus was always on fresh, wholesome ingredients. For the wealthy, breakfast might include honey or nuts, while the average Roman made do with whatever was on hand. It was a meal meant to be quick and energizing, perfect for a busy day in the bustling city. Lunch? Picture cheese, figs, and sometimes flamingo tongue. Yep, flamingo. The midday meal, called prandium, was a chance to enjoy a little luxury. Figs were a favorite treat, sweet and juicy, while cheese added a creamy richness. But for those who could afford it, the menu got a lot more adventurous. Flamingo tongue was considered a delicacy, prized for its unique flavor and rarity. It might sound strange to us, but for the Romans it was a status symbol, a way to show off their wealth and sophisticated taste. Their feasts were legendary. Think roasted dormice stuffed with herbs, or garum, a fish sauce so stinky it makes anchovies jealous. Banquets or convivia were the highlight of Roman social life. Guests reclined on couches, sampling course after course of exotic dishes. Roasted dormice, plump and savoury, were a favourite snack, while garum, a fermented fish sauce, was poured over almost everything. The smell was intense, but the flavour was addictive, adding a salty umami kick to every bite. These feasts could last for hours, filled with music, conversation and endless plates of food. Fancy dessert? They loved honey cakes and fruit, but ice cream was still a few centuries away. For a sweet finish, Romans turned to nature's candy. Fresh fruit, figs and dates, often drizzled with golden honey. Honey cakes, soft and fragrant, were a special treat at festivals and celebrations. Without sugar or chocolate, desserts were simple but satisfying, relying on the natural sweetness of their ingredients. It was a different kind of indulgence, but one that brought people together at the end of every meal. And while we snapped pics of our burgers, Romans reclined on couches, eating with their hands and chatting about politics. Dining was a social event, a time to relax and connect with friends and family. There were no forks or knives, just fingers and a shared love of good food. Conversation flowed as freely as the wine, with topics ranging from philosophy to the latest gossip from the forum. Meals were about more than just eating. They were about community, tradition, and the joy of sharing. So next time you're bored with your meal, remember, you could be snacking on stuffed eel instead of chicken nuggets. The next time you open your lunchbox or order takeout, think about the wild and wonderful foods that once graced Roman tables. Their adventurous spirit in the kitchen reminds us that food is more than just fuel. It's a window into history, culture, and the endless creativity of the human palate. Who knows? Maybe your next meal will be inspired by the flavors of ancient Rome.